Over the last few years, it's become harder and harder to secure an appointment with an NHS dentist, with reports now claiming that 9 out of 10 NHS dental practices are not accepting any new adult patients.
Our next guest, Alex Gray, says he spent years trying to register with an NHS dentist after moving to a new area. And in the end, Alex here made the decision to treat himself by removing his own teeth using pliers from his toolbox, which just sounds really gruesome, I have to say.
Alex is just one of the many people who say they've been forced to conduct dangerous DIY dentistry, and he joins us now to tell his story alongside Dr Deepak Aulak. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Now, Alex, I mean, you've been doing your own dentistry for quite a while now.
About 8 years, yeah.
And, I mean, you haven't got any background in dentistry. What is it you used to do?
Slater, Tyler and Thatcher.
So you're a roofer. You're an ex-roofer, and you've been removing your own teeth.
I've had no choice.
And how long have you been doing that for?
About 7 years, give or take. I didn't count it, but about 7 years.
And when did the problems start with your teeth?
About 8 years ago, I was living in Basingstoke, and my dentist I went to there died, not while I was there, but died, and then they closed that dentistry, I think that's the right word.
So you couldn't...
And I couldn't get another one.
You couldn't register with an NHS dentist?
No, but then I had to move back to Lincoln to be near my family, because that's basically where I originated. And my son, who had gone down south to be, when he came out of the Navy, moved back to Lincoln, so I had to go there.
I'm just intrigued to that first moment when you went, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. Can you talk us through that day and your thought process and how you went about it?
The best I can remember, basically, I was in so much pain. As you can imagine, if you've had toothache, you know what the pain is like. And it was really, really bad. I tried drinking warm, I tried drinking cold. It didn't work. In fact, it made it worse. And I tried ringing dentists. And in the end, I started to do that with a pair of pliers, and it just made me even more pain. So I got my cocodamol out, which I have for another reason for my knee, and I took 4, and they sort of still had the toothache, but it made me start to get a bit dizzy. So then I went to pull it out, and it wasn't quite so difficult. Yes, it was painful still, but at least I could do it, whereas till I took the cocodamol, I couldn't do it. So, and I've continued and went as I've got on to do exactly that.
That's a lot of cocodamol to take as well.
And I keep trying to get a new dentist, and all I get is, well, we can put you on the list, and if ever we get a space, we'll put you...
I mean, Alex, you do look like you've got quite a lot of teeth to me. Oh, right, OK.
The top ones are half.
Yeah. They're quite small, aren't they?
Well, that's because they're broken.
Oh, right, OK.
When I've gone to try to pull them out, the fronts fell off and then the paint's gone.
Oh.
So I leave what's left to help me eat what I can. Then at the bottom, all I've got left is down.
So you use a
and the big ones of all 6 of them, I've had to pull out, literally.
You pulled out the molars with pliers.
Yeah.
Can you just... I mean, the pain must have been... Even full of...
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't swap it for anything. It really is.
I'm thinking Tom Hanks in Castaway.
It's just one of them you just got to do. What do? Sit there with the pain you can't cope with anyway.
That's terrible.
You actually cut your mouth, didn't you?
I did one the first time, yeah.
And did you get an infection?
Not that I remember, but you're more concerned about the blood and everything. So I used to get a piece of thick toilet roll, the one with the printing... you know, the toilet rolls where...
The good stuff.
Yeah. Tear a bit off, roll it up, put it into the tooth, and leave it for as long as it would last.
Alex, do you mind
and eventually the blood stops.
Did you ever ring a dentist and say, I've just pulled out my own tooth with the pliers, I need your help?
No, I'd rung to ask if I could get in. I didn't ring afterwards because I didn't see the point. I'd already done their job for them.
And how has it affected your life?
More than anything, the annoying side of it, because I spent my 55 years working, paying my national insurance contribution to not get what I paid for. Yeah. I paid for dentists and doctors. I've got the doctors, not a problem, but I can't have a dentist and I paid for it.
I'm so sorry you had to go through this, Alex. It's really gruesome.
Yeah.
And actually, emotionally and other than just physically, really distressing for you to have to go through.
Yeah. But you have to... I had 2 heart attacks and a stroke, and to be honest, when you come out the other side of that, you put things into perspective. And to me, I could have died then, but I'm still here. So I'll put up with the tooth as much as I ate it, and as much as I shouldn't have to. I'm still here.
I mean, Dr. Deepak, I mean, it's safe to say that this is really not recommended.
Yeah, I think, look, firstly, we sympathise with cases like Alex's. Definitely something that's not recommended. Alex talks about his lip being damaged. You can leave remnants of tooth behind. You know, secondary infections, we have to go digging for those. So we really sympathise. It's disheartening to hear stories like Alex because it's one of many stories of, you know, the state of NHS dentistry right now.
I mean, this should not happen.
No.
Never mind once, but 7 teeth Alex has pulled out. Are you shocked by this story?
Still got 1 to go.
Oh, well, leave that. Get someone else to do that for you.
Don't you do anything with that. You leave that one there.
I mean,
speak to a dentist.
Your thoughts on someone doing this at home?
Yeah, I think, Alex, we talked about this earlier, is that some parts of the country, they're called dental deserts. There's areas where there's no dentist accepting any NHS patients. And, you know, as dentists, we kind of pinpoint to the 3 A's. Affordability. You know, there's been an 8.5% increase in NHS fees just occurring this year, which is incredible. Patients are paying more. Access. You know, Bupa has just closed 85 clinics across the UK. So let alone independent clinics. Big corporations are struggling to keep the lights on in a dental clinic. And then availability is a decade low of number of dentists available out there in the system. So access, affordability and availability. And you know, for us, we really want people like Alex to get access to a dentist ASAP.
So what are the government doing about this?
I think the government has tried to patch up this dental sort of contract that's not really fit for purpose. You know, we liken it. They're asking these dentists to kind of steer the ship, but it's a sinking ship. And they've kind of patchwork dentistry that's occurring right now. They've got something called a UDA, which is a target-based driven, how dentistry is kind of operated. And it's just, unfortunately, not the way that dentistry should be conducted.
So there is the NHS Find a Dentist online, OK, which Alex should be able to go on and find a local dentist, particularly now, by the way. Is that system working? Is that something Alex can rely on? Actually, I'll ask you first, Alex. Did you try that?
I've rung them. No, and where I live, the city of Lincoln, you've got to realise that Lincolnshire is pretty much agricultural. I'm told, whether it's true or not, the population of Birmingham City is more than the population of the county of Lincoln. Because I live in Lincoln, or a small village attached to it, I've got to rely on the Lincoln area, because then you've got another 20 miles to the next ring of town. And I've tried several times to register. One accepted me as a registered, but only if I paid, and it was private.
Dr. Deepak, I mean, what can people do if they can't find an NHS dentist and they're at home, and can they speak to a pharmacist? Yeah,
so I think statistics are showing, I think 6 million people every year are experiencing dental pain lasting over 2 weeks. So the first thing is, how do we manage that dental pain? So pharmacists are in a great position to help with that. You can go there and tell them your medical history. They can give relevant advice on that. The NHS directory you talk about, unfortunately, is just still a glorified directory online. You still have to individually go clinic by clinic and call up to try and find a dentist, an NHS dentist. So a lot more needs to be done on that technological side. But then we want you to also use auxiliary services as well, self-guide and self-help services that are available online. But what we really want to take away from today's story is, situation like Alex's, please do not try do-it-yourself dentistry, living room dentistry. Try and use other services available. That's
the big message here today, Doctor. And thank you for coming in and, well, just giving some people advice. And Alex, no more. Keep the pliers in the toolbox with the rest of the tools, and good luck with everything. Lincoln Dentist, please help him out. Thank you both so much for coming in. Good to see you. Thank you so much.